Hey everyone, I'm Shy, and I have become really obsessed with SCP-096 again lately. I think it was after I watched the recently released short film, which I'll chuck a link to down in the description, which is amazing. So yeah, I just kind of really wanted to do an illustration of 096 because the last one that I made was a couple of years ago, and I've loved this SCP for such a long time. It's always been like a big personal favourite, so I wanted to do it justice. So here's just me just kind of doing some thumbnailing and just trying to figure out what I wanted. So I decided I wanted this scene of it. Maybe it was cornered or it's about to be captured and a fight's about to break out and you've got these MTF pointing like laser sights at it. And there's this kind of sense of like something's about to go down, something big's about to happen, you know. 096 is a weird one. He's got such an uncomfortable kind of body, and the fact that like it's, I guess, kind of naked but not really is makes it very difficult to draw. As you can see, I could not get the feet right. Feet are really fucking hard to draw. Really, really hard. That's okay. So are hands. Hands are really hard to draw too. I took a couple of reference photos of my own hands to try and get like the gnarly, kind of curled, you know, gross kind of monstery hand grip just right. It was a bit tricky. Got there in the end. I kept laughing at myself as I was drawing that face. I kind of wanted the eyes to be kind of in shadow, but still relatively visible. So he kind of had this sense of like the face is such like a prominent part of this SCP as well. You know, like that's a key part of the stories surrounding it. It's a key part of its anomalous properties. So I really wanted to really kind of encapsulate like this really uncomfortable kind of looking thing that's kind of human but not quite at the same time, with that, you know, really wide mouth, like uncomfortably large mouth. Not as wide as it is like able to open like all the way, but like I kind of sense that like maybe he's about to start screaming, you know. I had a lot of fun with doing the lines on this. I tried to play around with like shadow weight because I wanted this to be one of those scenes where like deer caught in the headlights, where you've got a very strong frontal light source that creates these very strong like cast shadows on like a surface behind it, like I was going for. You know, it's up against a wall of some description. So, and they've got, you know, torches kind of shining on it really strongly. So you've got a very dark scene with strong illumination and very strong cast shadows. So I started adding a little bit of that into the line art, but primarily I was going to put a lot of that that hard shadow work into the shading and a bit into the background later. I wanted the background to be pretty simple, just because I'm lazy and backgrounds are hard. So I just kind of smashed out something with like a very nice chalky textury brush, and then I roughed in the kind of the strong cast shadow as well, just to give myself a sense of like where I wanted my primary lighting source to be and how I wanted to shade the rest of the body correspondingly. And then he just ended up looking more like 106 before I'd finished doing the shading, but yeah. Going in, I decided to use the same kind of chalky textury brush, and I wanted to keep it this kind of like a slightly painted kind of look to it, just because I've been really enjoying using like strong textures in painting lately, and I think it kind of suited the kind of grungy kind of scene that I wanted to go for, and I really liked how that grunginess kind of came out in the background, so I wanted to keep the whole thing feeling quite the same in that texture. I used a multiplier layer here, and right now I'm just painting with the layer set to normal, so I'm just colour picking the different kind of light and shadow colours that I wanted to use and just kind of painting it in with that chalky brush, just to kind of get a really good sense of like the form. Every now and then I would check to see how it looked like, setting the layer to multiply to see how it would affect my base colours, but generally speaking I usually paint my shadows in with the multiply layer set to normal, just so I can focus on it on a very blank state, especially if the figure that I'm painting has a lot of different base colors on it. I think it just helps me get my shadows quite accurate. I wasn't super happy with the original shadows, so I went back in here and added a few darker ones just to really push the form and shape, just to really get that sense of like this thing's, you know, it's quite dark, there's a lot of hard shadows being cast, and smashed out some of those lasers. I wanted them to kind of look like they were filtering through smoke or fog almost. So I started like mucking around with a really large textured brush just to try and get that kind of sense of like maybe there's some dirt's been kicked up or some smoke's there, and that just kind of makes the lasers look like they're hitting particles in the air a bit stronger. Going in, I wasn't quite happy with how the figure was showing up as far as like there being a strong light cast on it, so I just added in a bit more highlights and darkened some of the other sections just to really push the face and the body. And that's the finished piece. It was really fun going back and doing the Shy Guy again after so many years of kind of, you know, me doing little illustrations here and there, so I had a really fun time drawing this. So if there's any other SCPs that you want to see drawn, chuck a comment in the comments below and let me know, because I really like to do more of this kind of thing. So yeah, thanks for watching.